Yes, everybody, what's going on? This is Stephen Howson. This is Full Time Devils. This is tomorrow's transfers today. We're going to wade through all of the bollocks in the media and give you what's going on with all the transfers tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining us. We've got a pretty good one tonight for you, and we're going to get into it. We have got Perisic, Bonucci, Bale, Darmian, Blind, and a little bit about the new kit, which is an absolute joke the way this is being reported. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we are talking about Ivan Perisic. So this has come for us from the Metro. And they're saying Inter Milan are going to demand a fee of 62 million, which I think it was 55 million last summer. Pay it. If United come calling once again for Perisic this summer, Perisic was one of Jose Mourinho's 4 targets last summer. We've spoke about this loads. United was clearly in for more than him because we was in for Griezmann as well. So it was 5, wasn't it? Someone's lying somewhere. After they were successful in bringing in Lindelof, Lukaku and Matic, Inter refused to cash in on the Croatian international. There was obviously a little bit of a discrepancy in what United wanted to pay and what Inter was hoping to receive. He had a great season for Inter last season. He's followed that up with having a smashing World Cup, leading Croatia to the final. One of their standout players, should have been in the Team of the Year. I was Neymar in the Team of the Year, by the way. And Paulinho, what is all that about? Who voted for that? Muppets. Perisic, I think, would be a top signing for United. It's one I'd love to see happen. World Cup is over now. And I'm hoping that some of the reason that there's been a bit of a slow uptake on United's transfers is because some of our targets have been at the World Cup. It's a 7 million increase, all right, on the back of a decent World Cup. I mean, on the negative side, he's a year older. He's got a year less on his contract. But you know what? The way everything's gone up, pay it. We screwed ourselves over by not paying it last season. We don't know the implications. Signing Perisic would have had someone who can cross, banging it over to Big Rom. He might have not gone through that slump. United might have kicked in. Confidence might have stayed high. There could have been all sorts of knock-ons. We might have seen a different formation. We was trialling 3-5-2 all the way through the summer. We reverted back to a 4 at the back as soon as the season started, and we didn't sign Perisic. So I wonder if that Perisic deal was going to be the key to us playing a different formation, which would have been very interesting to see. It might have made a bit more sense as to why we brought someone like Lindelof in but then never played him, or essentially never played him. The next one that we're going to be talking about then is Bonucci, Leonardo Bonucci. Now, as I've said a couple of times, I think Bonucci represents an archetype of a player, and I think Toby Alderweireld is probably the guy at the top of that list. I'd love to say Godin is on that list as well. There might be others that are on this list, but I would love Leonardo Bonucci. I know people want to say about how he's slow, that he didn't have a great season. Look, here's the thing, man. Milan didn't have a great season, and he was also bedding into an entire new team. Milan went bananas last summer, signing all the players. They like when you get a new save on a footy manager game, and you're like, oh shit, they've got loads of dough. Let's just go nuts. That's exactly what Milan did last summer, and there's an unsettling in the team happens when that happens, doesn't it? And I think Bonucci is being unfairly viewed on the back of this. The guy's a leader. Now, you all know me, you all know my thoughts on bringing through academy players and this, that and the other. United have got 2 very specific issues, maybe 3, maybe 4 actually. If you look at another central midfielder, could be an issue. Not sure there's an academy player that's an obvious candidate to just starting games. I'd like to see Pereira and Fosu Mensah given games, but I don't think either of them are the actual thing that we need. Right wing, we could have players that are coming through that might fit the bill. None are starters. Left back and centre half, we don't have the experienced players that we need in those positions coming through just yet. So I would like to see us dip into the market, at least for those positions, Sandro being one. And the archetype of a central defender that is a leader, a 29, 30-year-old, someone who's been there, done it and won it, played at the top level, that can give our back line a little bit of calmness to it. I will be coming to the comments in a little bit as well, so definitely get your questions in for us. Good questions as well, wordy ones. So what I said about Bonucci is, now this is interesting, all the way through this, it's been like, Bonucci is a player that United could be interested in, and then it's come back out that, you know, there's obviously family problems for Bonucci, and there's reasons he might not want to leave Italy. The best indication that we've seen so far then is, according to reports in Italy, they're saying that he fancies a move to the Premier League. That's the difference. That is the difference. I think if he's available and you get the other targets that you want, he'd be very cheap. Get him. I would just get him. Just stop messing around and just get the guy. So I'd love to see us bring him in. The next one that we're going to talk about is, I'm sure we've covered this already, this exact phrase. Real Madrid will sell Gareth Bale to Manchester United on one condition. This is in the Evening News. So what is the condition thereof which they will sell him to Manchester United? Let's have a look. So it says, Don Balon claimed Florentino Perez could be tempted into a deal if Lukaku is going in the opposite direction. Whoa. Now, last time we spoke about the one condition that United had to reach to be able to sign Gareth Bale, it was that they meet their demands. It was the stupidest line ever in one of these stupid articles that we'd read. So, Don Balon have gone full-on Don Balon here, and they're like, I know, what should we do? We haven't said anyone's leaving United for about 5 minutes. Let's say Lukaku's going. We might have to put a ban on Don Balon at the end of this window. Or do we keep talking about them because they're a source of absolute comedy gold? They probably get every single transfer right. And what I mean by that is they probably get every single transfer right because 1% of what they're writing ends up actually happening, because they just go for every mental scenario and just be like, let's say he's going there, let's say he's going there, let's say he's getting swapped for him, let's say he's doing that, let's say he's doing this, let's say he's doing that. There's someone saying bite their hands off. You have no idea how this Manchester United team works. Lukaku is absolutely key to it. If you get rid of Lukaku, who's playing up front for United, in a team that requires a target man to play up front, you can't complain that you don't like the way Manchester United play and then say, oh, I wish we get rid of Lukaku. Because do you know what that means? You're going to play Fellaini in midfield every single game because Mourinho's going to want someone to be able to go to escape the press every single time. Lukaku's quality. And if you don't recognise Lukaku's quality, I don't know what to say to you. But yeah, I think they end up getting every single transfer rumour right because they just link everyone to everyone. And ultimately, they get one right on the back of that. I'm not buying this whatsoever. That's utter bollocks from Don Balon. Yeah, they've gone through every single possible permutation. They're going to get it right at some point. This one was always going to happen. Let me just get it in. So this one's about Darmian. It's in Sports Witness. Sports Witness seems to have some pretty good stuff going on in Italy. So they said United supporters hope that the club would be signing Alexandro this summer for left back. He seems very much for sale, and for a while, someone pays the right price, they would get him. Mourinho's side have been linked, but in recent weeks, PSG have also been considered for him, and they're the likelier ones, according to Tutto Mercato Web. Now, I don't buy that. I think he's very close to Manchester United. You always see this. Just as a deal's about to complete, an agent or someone else throws another team into the mix just so everyone panics and gets it over the line. It's a pretty, well-used tactic by people. So it says, once Sandro is gone, Juventus will be moving closer to the signing of Matteo Darmian, who's been at Old Trafford, on the Old Trafford exit ramp for months. Premier League club is said to be asking for 18 million for Darmian, and it's claimed he's already agreed to personal terms with Juventus. I think he's going to end up going to them as part of the deal for Sandro, and we'll see what that goes down like. But hopefully the move for Sandro goes through pretty soon, because he's going to come in straight in the mixer for United, I think. Don Bollocks, says Jake. I like it. And then we've got Jose Mourinho saying farewell to Daley Blind, who is obviously on the old outs there now, having joined Ajax. And he's like, I would like to take this opportunity to wish him all the very best as he rejoins his boyhood club and thank him from the bottom of my heart from his commitment and dedication over the past 2 seasons. And it makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit, to be honest with you, because the reason Daley Blind is joining his boyhood club is because of Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho's personal feelings about a player rather than what he can do on a pitch is the reason that Daley Blind's no longer at Manchester United. And for me, it's a massive, massive loss for United, because if he had been played correctly, it's a long-term replacement for Carrick, could have been in there, a versatile player that could fill in at left-back, could fill in at centre-half. Daley Blind made Chris Smalling look world-class playing alongside him. Think what he could do alongside an actual good defender, playing regularly, not being given the opportunity. It's a sad loss for us. It's a sad loss. Joke. Anyway, let's move on to what they're saying about the kit. So United have released a new kit and people are losing their mind as usual, not feeling it. And I saw a real good comment. Someone said the other day, if we win the league in it, it'll be my favourite kit in the last 5 years. I can get behind that. I will say I don't like the shorts being black and I don't like the socks being red and black. It looks like a Bournemouth kit or a Watford kit. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like a Manchester United kit. United have a simple formula. Don't fuck with it. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks. I don't even like it when we're playing white socks for just a random amount of games. There's no need for it. A few seasons ago, we just decided to play in white socks for loads of the time. We do it in the Champions League a lot. I don't know what all that's about. Why are we deviating into black shorts? Stop messing with it. This is our colours. This is what we do. Anyway, John Percy in a Telegraph has just gone straight in with a load of lies rather than... I mean, journalism's on its arse anyway, and John's not helping at all here. The headline, Man United unveil £183 kit, the most expensive in history, and you go, they're bastards. Let's have a look at it. So it says, Manchester United unveil the most expensive replica kit in their history on Tuesday, with a full adults version costing 183 quid. I'll give you a lot of challenge. You go and try and find a kit that's 183 quid. Because on the official United website, the shirt is £64.95. That's expensive. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. With inflation and all the rest of it, that's a pretty expensive shirt for an adult. The shorts are like 20-something quid. The socks 12 or something like that. It doesn't cost 183 quid. Now, you drill into it and it goes, the kit, worn by Paul Pogba. See that little slide dig up Pogba there already? Inspired by the club's international links with Newton Heath. Blah, 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 blah. But the cost of the shirt is just under £110 for adults. No, it isn't. It just isn't. It's £64.95. I mean, I'll show you on the website, but it's backwards. So you're just going to have to believe me. It's right there on the website. £64.95. Not 110 quid. Do you know what I think he's done? He's added 2 to his basket and gone, fucking hell, that's there. Dick. How's it 110 quid? How is it 110 quid? It's not 110 quid. If they're talking about the player issue ones, which are like the slimmer fit with the holes in the side, they've always been around 110 quid, but they're not selling them on the site. That's not what the average knobhead down the pub's going to wear. That's not what the average fan in the stadium's going to be buying. Nor, even if the shirt, like, let's just pretend for 1 second that these lies are true and the shirt is 110 quid. Where the fuck are the shorts for 50 quid? Or the socks for 23 quid? They're just not that price at all. I have no idea where he's getting this from in the slightest. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. Yes, it goes a little bit dearer than 64 if you put badges and the name on the back of it, but it's not 110 quid. It's a fucking joke. Journalism, dead. What are you guys saying in the comments? Can Marshall win the Ballon d'Or in the future? Probably not at United. Mbappe is better than Marshall. You see how people's just minds trick? If Marshall had gone to that World Cup, he'd have done similar stuff. Exciting player that would have got into the final third and done those sort of things. Wasn't to be. Even with the name and the numbers, it's only 82 quid, says WWE Bessie. There you go. Simeon says, when United transfer business is so bad, you have to moan about the kit. No, the transfer business isn't that bad, is it? At the end of the day. I'm not digging how late they've left it, but the window's not over. It ends earlier, but it's not ended yet, has it? How come the Premier League doesn't have all the European stars it used to? Seems like a lot of talent these days actively avoiding playing in the Prem. Really? If you look at the World Cup semi-finals, there was a lot of Premier League players playing in there. Arguably, we've never had the top of the top, ever, really. I mean, Ronaldo was here for a little bit, then he bounced. But when have we ever really had that? When have we ever had consistent Ballon d'Or winning players in England? Never. There's always been that bias towards Barcelona and Real Madrid players in the Ballon d'Or. Those superstar players have always played for those clubs. Even when United was at their peak, when we was winning the treble, this, that and the other, we didn't have a Ballon d'Or winner in that team. They was always Spanish, and you know, around that time I think original Ronaldo might have won it in about 98, Rivaldo 99. We never had them players. What do I think of the Sanchez travel situation? How does it affect the integration with the new players? They're only there like a week and a half. Probably be fine. With CR7 at Juve, does it affect Sandro coming to United? Probably not, because they reckon that they don't need to sell. they said that 2 seasons ago when Paul Pogba was being sold, and they signed Higuain and Pjanic and a lot of other players, and they spent loads of dough, and it was around about, you know, what they were spending was what they was about to get back in for Pogba, and everyone was like, what's going on there then, eh? And they go, oh, we don't need to sell, we've just got money. They'll sell. It's basic tactics anyway. You never reveal your hand. If you tell everyone what's going to happen, like if Jose Mourinho come out and was like, I'm getting rid of Martial and I'm getting rid of Pogba, well, the price for them players has just fell through the floor, hasn't it? You have to pretend you're not interested in selling, otherwise people are going to undercut you. Basic business. Pogba deserves the Ballon d'Or. Wouldn't go that far. He's been very good. In 99 it was Mateus won the Ballon d'Or. No, it was Rivaldo in 99. Is it true that Mourinho isn't playing the main players who went to the World Cup versus Leicester? I don't know where you've heard that at all. Mason Greenwood is going to be a massive player for United in a few years. Watching a video of him earlier, kid's got talent. Yep. He's had a phenomenal season and he could be in for an extra one as well. United play AC Milan in the USA, so the deal with Bonucci could be done. It always takes two things like that to complete together. Maybe. Jose's last summer at United, thank God. Not necessarily, mate. What do I think about Jose not having an assistant manager? Well, I threw out a tweet today talking about Thierry Henry as a possibility as an assistant. Now, Jose said he's promoted McKenna, and McKenna's taking training, and I think he's essentially his assistant. Michael Carrick's obviously also involved in there, and he's saying they are my assistants rather than my assistant manager. It's semantics, isn't it, really, ultimately? But I think you could add Thierry Henry into that mix. Supposedly he's got a lot of affection for United. I wasn't aware of that if that's the case. Obviously works very well with Lukaku. We've seen that, and we've seen that Paul Pogba and him have got a big respect for each other. That could be key, because if you get someone that can put his arm around Paul Pogba, let him understand what the manager's wanting, and also feed back to the manager what's going to be the best to get out of these flair type of players, that would be a phenomenal appointment for United if they was able to make it. Now, he's quit the Belgium job because he wants to take that step into management. If there's no management job offer on the table, it would make a lot of sense for him to go and get his feet wet as an assistant somewhere at a massive club that's going to get European experience, where he could prove his worth. Because if Manchester United have a crazy good season where we look electric in the final third, and Thierry Henry's come and McKenna's come and Carrick's come, they'll get the credit for it because everyone just assumes Mourinho wants to park the bus. But that might be the most practical way for a United backroom staff to work. If Jose is the guy that's always thinking about what the opposition can do and how you can prevent that, and the other half of his team is how they can open the doors and how they can score goals and how we can be more unpredictable in the final third, that might be the perfect way to set a team up. And that might be what Manchester United really need. But that's just my opinion. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. Would you like to see Thierry Henry as an assistant at United? Just for the piss it would boil at Arsenal. We can go put a United shirt on him when we nip down to the Emirates as well. On his statue, that's down there. And that'd absolutely get all over him, wouldn't it? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Oh, before I go and check out yesterday's transfer review as well. If you want more transfer news and all the rest of it, and the ratings on who we think's going where and all that caper. Laters.